Welcome back to the Founders Academy. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about 5 secrets in attracting and retaining customers for your SaaS business model. Let's get into it. When you're trying to attract customers or even retain them, the number one thing you want to do is offer a valuable solution to your customer, specifically a niche customer. Especially when you're early stage at your startup, you are very much limited by the resources available to you. So it is almost impossible for most startups to be able to target multiple different customers. You need to pick one customer and really generate value for your product for them so that they fully understand, okay, this product I cannot live without. That is the number one secret to be able to really get that scalability in terms of attracting customers. So when you're trying to build a product, focus on that niche market, understand them. Be fully engaged with them. In one of our podcasts, we talked about actually creating a product advisory board, which means just going to a couple of these small mom and pop shops and actually being able to say, hey, listen, I'm building a product specifically designed for you. I would love for you guys to be a part of the board so that we can actually build something that actually works exactly to what you are missing in today's world. Once you have that product advisory board, you can then try to understand their needs, their wants, their fears, their desires, and that's how you're going to tailor the entire product around them. And based on the product, you can actually build an entire marketing strategy that can actually focus on creating attention, desire, and then bringing them into your fold and being able to have them sign up for your product and start paying. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is invest in your customer success early. Customer success is one of the most important aspects of business that a lot of people just kind of overlook. It's one of those afterthoughts. It's kind of like pushed to the back. You know what? Focus on the product. Let's get that out the door. But that's not going to work for you. You have to focus on understanding, utilizing your product advisory board, and being able to understand what does success look for them. And all you can do as soon as they sign up for that product is be able to give them that success. The faster you can give them that success, the longer their lifetime value becomes. It is so important to understand that success and be able to deliver that success as early as possible when the customer signs up. So focus on your customer success because you do not understand how important it can be until it is more of a reactive approach versus a proactive approach. So once you have your customer success in order, the third secret is understand your pricing model. The number of startups that we work with that just do not understand their pricing is incredible. They either underprice themselves heavily or they overprice themselves heavily. You need to find out what your customers are willing to pay for the product. You can't price yourself too low, and most startups actually end up pricing themselves too low because they're sitting there going, I don't know if I'm worth it. I'm brand new. So you price yourself lower, and what ends up happening is you run into cash flow issues, you can't expand as fast, and so it becomes a detriment to you because of the fact that you didn't price yourself correctly. When pricing, you don't need to worry about having 100 customers right off the bat, because if you can get 50 customers that pay double the price that you just set, you are generating the same amount of revenue without having to manage 100 customers. Instead, you're only managing 50 customers. You don't have to conquer the world right off the bat. You need to understand who your customers are and what they're willing to pay. That comes back to the product advisory board. That is why the product advisory board is so critical to the early stage startup. And if you're going to be doing a freemium model, understand what a freemium model is. It is simply to get the customer to engage with you early, but as they scale, as their business grows, you want them to grow with you. So make sure that your model is set so that when the customer or you believe the business is growing, they have to go into a paid model with you. Time after time, we see it all the time where instead of the freemium being a platform to get paid, it becomes a platform where the customer just goes there and sits there and never, ever upgrades to an actual paid premium. So be very careful when you're actually strategizing for a freemium model because it can be devastating if you can't get them to actually upgrade to a paid model. Now, once you have your pricing model, everything is planned out, you have your product advisory board, now we go into secret number 4, which is building a content house. In today's social media world, you have to be able to provide some sort of value before any customer even engages with you. They are constantly bombarded with ads. They're constantly bombarded with everything around the internet. So you need to actually start planning and start thinking about building a community of your customers and be able to provide content to them that can attract and teach and create awareness about why they need your product. But you cannot do it in a selling format. You have to do it in an educational format. Nowadays, you're being constantly sold to. Everywhere you look, you're constantly being stimulated to buy. So focus more on the education side. Focus more on how do you provide them value in order for them to come back to you and say, hey, I love what you said. What else can you help me with? That's when you have your true value. And that's when you can actually take that customer and really nurture them through your pipeline and be able to get that customer to actually convert to being a paid customer. So Content House is one of the hardest things to do, building content and being on social on a regular basis. But if you're able to achieve it, it is the most powerful tool because now no one can compete with you. Now you have a community. Now you have great content online, and that content pays dividend over time. I always say to everybody around me, I focus on being 1% better each day. Well, that's the same thing as content. It can be a content from 3 years ago that someone will find and they'll watch and they'll engage with you from there. That's something that I don't have to pay for. I only have to pay for it once, and it's out there, it's in the world, and now I'm hoping to build on that. So make sure you put your Content House as a priority for marketing and make it 1% better every single day, and I promise you it will pay you dividends at the end. But make sure when you're building that Content House that you're focused on creating engagement. So you have to engage with your users. If there's questions, comments, you have to be on there. You are the sales guy. You are the founder. So you have to sell either online or in person. There's no ifs, buts, or that. So you have to make sure you're focusing on social because that is the number one way people are going to find you easily. And as soon as they hear about you, the first thing they're going to do is go online and see who you're all about. Now, once you've done all of that, everything is good. If you haven't noticed, everything revolves around the customer for the secrets. So I'm going to now tell you how to retain the customer. One of the things that a lot of SaaS companies do is once they get a customer, they celebrate, they're excited, we got another user, we got another company on board, that's it. That's where it ends. Again, it comes back to the customer success aspect. When it comes to the customer success, you have to create a customer feedback loop. You have to be able to go back on a regular basis and say, hey, how is things going? Even a simple phone call will do. But just being able to contact them and having those conversations with them will help you understand what you're missing, what your roadmap could look like, and how you can adapt your product to make it even stronger for that niche market. Remember, at the very early stage of your startup, you are limited by resources. I get that. So some people can't have customer success, but that becomes even more critical for you to actually create some sort of customer feedback loop, even by utilizing cheaper tools like even Google surveys or whatever, to be able to engage with those customers and be able to utilize your product advisory board to constantly give you feedback on the product so that you can make it even better. It is so important. It is one of the things that's constantly missed, especially at an early stage. But if done correctly, especially at an early stage, you will be able to thrive with that information. And that information is one of those things that people pay for. So make sure that you actually utilize a customer feedback loop where you can actually get that information from your customers and really drive home the success of your product. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our 5 secrets. Just to recap our secrets, number 1, we have offer a valuable solution and pick a single customer. Pick a niche product that you're going to target to a single customer that you can say, these guys are my guys and here's my product advisory board. Number 2, focus on what they're missing. Do not focus on anything anything else. Focus on what they're missing, because that gap is where they're willing to pay money for. Number 3, understand your pricing model. If you don't understand your pricing model, you're gonna leave money on the table, or you're gonna go bankrupt before you even hit that 1,000 user base. So make sure you understand your pricing and make sure you price yourself accordingly. Do not price yourself too low, and understand what a freemium model is meant to do for you. Number 4, build a content house. Focus on content. The more content you create, the more dividends it will pay over time, because content is available at all times. And when you're talking and engaging with your customers or potential customers in a cold call, guess what they're doing? They're going online to seeing, who are these guys? Are they actually educated? Do they know what they're talking about? Am I going to engage with these guys? That is where your content becomes critical to show your authority and understanding of what you have built. And finally, number 5, customer success, customer feedback loop. Those things become critical in your infrastructure for your roadmap long term. So make sure you have some sort of system, either automated or with a team member, where you can actually engage your customers, understand what's missing, and really develop that roadmap with an alliance with your customers. So focus on the customer. Well, that's it. That's your 5 secrets of how to attract and retain customers in a SaaS industry. Thank you all for watching. And if you guys have any comments, please let us know down below. Like and subscribe. We're going to be posting these kind of videos on a regular basis. We're here to make sure that your idea goes from just an idea to success. Until next time, Korner out.